what's up, y'all? Welcome to another Musician Rewind. Today I have Wayne Jeffrey, guitar player, producer, writer, all that, another Jamaica Queens cat. What's good, Wayne?
I'm good, man. How you feeling, brother?
Yeah, it's all good, man. So, like I start with everybody, I asked them, was guitar your original instrument?
Yes, it was. Guitar is where I started. Guitar is where I'm still at.
I hear you.
Yes, I was just saying that when I started teaching, they required me to learn some keyboards. So I had to practice the keyboard and learn some chords and stuff like that so that I would just be fluent in the instrument.
Right.
Drums as well,
Right.
the bass, I had to practice. So, just so that I could show the kids because they were all learning. So I didn't have to be proficient at it. I just had to be, I just had a good understanding of it. But guitar has really been the instrument for me.
Right. So what got you started on that? Like what attracted you to guitar?
I was on a block where, there was just a bunch of musicians on the block. But, my mother bought me a guitar. Nicky Brady, he showed me a couple of chords on the guitar, man. He really got me going, man. That was the brother who was like a mentor to me, man. And he just started me and it never left me.
So was he from around our way? Because I'm not familiar with him.
Yeah, Nick is man. He's a preeminent man. He's a writer. He's kind of like retired from music now. He's done so well, man, as a writer. But he played in the Funk Machine. That was the band, the Funk Machine. Do you remember them? That was Curtis Kendrick. You're probably a little bit younger than.
No, I don't. I remember Funk House Express. That's probably the only band I remember with the funk in the title.
Yeah. No, they were around at the same time.
Okay.
They were part of the Creative Funk enterprise. They were one of the bands at Creative Funk. So they were like on my block, that and we used to. A matter of fact, when we started, we started over in Michael Powell's house. We used to borrow their equipment. Nick would let us borrow his equipment to come over to Mike's house, and we would practice. Me, Mike, Glenn Harrison, and Chris Van Putten.
Oh, wow. So now that's interesting because I don't remember you in that band. I remember you in Unique Creation.
Oh, yeah. No, that like it started with Michael Powell and them.
Right. I remember that band.
You remember that?
Oh, yeah, I remember that band because, me, Ronnie, and Vicky would come down to the rehearsals.
Okay.
And like I was telling some of the other cats, I said, like that was the other band that would never kick us out. I said maybe because Ronnie was Glenn's brother. I don't know, but
I was only with them for a little bit, and what happened was I started playing with Ronald Spivey.
Oh,
and I was over in his garage, playing with him and Rory Guy, and we had a band, and we had a bunch. We were sounding pretty. Matter of fact, Marcus played in that band.
Oh, did he? Because I remember Spivey, coming over to Richard's house. I had never seen him play in a band.
Yeah. Our thing kind of fizzled out, man, when Marcus left. But at the same time, we were over there. We were sounding pretty good too, man, in that garage, man. Because we were just starting out, man. Just I was still referring to chord books when we were playing, man.
Okay, I just remember that was like a great time to be like, because there was a band everywhere, so it was always somebody rehearsing.
Oh yeah, our neighborhood was filled with musicians, man. And, we used to push our instruments from house to house in those shopping carts. We used to see. That was our transportation, man. So it started over there, and then after a while, that band faded, and that's when Unique Creation asked me to come play with them, and I was like, oh, man, I had heard them, man. They had already been kind of functioning, and I had seen them play, at a couple of talent shows, and I was impressed. So I wanted to play with them, and then just to be around Kevin and Marcus, those guys, man, Carl Carpenter, those guys.
Right, that was I remember his first name. I couldn't remember his last name. The other guitar player, right?
Yeah, Carl Carpenter.
Did y'all ever have a keyboard player?
Yeah, we had a guy named Greg, just for a little while. But really, the keyboard was it wasn't always there, and that's why they added me.
Right.
So
wait, which Greg? Not off 156, Bobby Smith and them cousin.
No, well, he was in one of our groups, man.
Okay.
Greg passed away. You know that, right?
Yeah, because he was running Rucker Park.
Oh yeah, and they named the park after him, man.
Yeah, I figured they was gonna do that.
Yeah, they got
I
a big
haven't.
sign up there with his name on it. So I was kind of proud of
Oh
that.
man, that's great. But yeah, because I remember him. He used to play. He had a Farfisa organ, I think.
Yeah, he had a little
And
organ that used to come down, but he was always in
right,
Harlem, so we could never get
right,
him. We only get him once in a while, and it wasn't enough.
right. Because then I know he had gotten to the rap thing. I was probably I ran into him.
Oh
When
yeah,
there was a
yeah.
group they used to wear the fatigues and stuff.
Oh yeah, Disco
So
4,
early
man.
on.
Disco 4. That was
Yeah,
his thing,
man.
man. He got kind of big with that.
Yeah,
That's what
yep,
catapulted him into being that
yep,
into Rucker Park. Bringing
right.
music and basketball together.
Yeah,
That was his thing.
yep. So I remember, yeah, I remember Carl. Um, I can't remember how I met Kevin.
Kevin,
Probably,
yeah,
I think
yeah.
Kevin Pettiford. Cause I know
From the
we went
neighborhood,
to
son.
the same school, but he was out by the time I got there.
Got
Cause I
you.
think Kev went to Lewis, and I
Yeah, he
came
did.
in
I think he
probably
did. He
yeah.
did. He
But
did.
I
He's
remember he was the first one to show me drum charts. We was on the bus coming home,
Yeah.
and
All right,
he showed
all
me
right,
he
all
showed me
right.
some drum for a drum set, and I was like, wait, you got to read all them lines at one time? Yo, it scared me. I told people, I said, yo, it scared me when he showed me that. I said, wait a minute, you reading all of that at one time?
Yeah, because y'all reading each hand, right? Each part of the body you got to
Right,
do.
but you see what's the kick, what's the snare, the hi-hat
Yeah,
pattern, where it
yeah.
crashes. I was like,
Yeah.
wow. And Kevin was like, oh yeah, no, it's easy.
That was him, man. That was him. That was his personality. But he was a
I
Billy
was like,
Cobham freak, man. He used to
oh,
walk around with a picture of Billy Cobham in his wallet.
really?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know that because I think I went down to his house a couple of times, maybe twice,
Okay.
and he had got that new set. But Rich, that was my guru.
Yeah,
So
Rich,
I
man.
didn't really
Yeah, that's my boy, man.
I had both Richards on the block. One right,
Oh
Richard
yeah,
Curtis was
man,
right across the street from me.
I came on that block one day, man, and you were playing. And I was like, who the hell is that playing, man? Damn, sounds good. And I was like, is that Richard
Thanks.
Curtis? And they were like, nah, man, you know Kevin? I was like, who?
Oh man,
I didn't
okay.
know you yet.
Yeah.
But then they took me in your
Oh.
backyard, and you was playing in your backyard, and you were like real short. But you was playing the shit out of the drums, man. I was
Wow.
like, look at this little guy, man.
Yo,
Holy smokes, is he gonna be good?
If it wasn't for Rich Ruiz, because Richard Curtis was already on that pro level.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I hear you.
I got to come down to him, maybe twice, but he was always so busy. So
Yeah.
I spent most of my time sitting and looking at his basement window. He be there practicing, but then he didn't have time. So he was cool with that, and that's why I used to see all those guys from Creative Funk.
Ah, I got you,
I was
man.
telling Gary, I said, yeah, I would see y'all be in front of Richard's house and stuff.
Yeah,
And,
I mean those were my idols, man.
Yeah.
Me and Marcus, we used to ride our bikes over to a Creative Funk studio. And
Okay.
we used to hang out right outside the garage door, and then the
Yeah.
manager Deke would come by and say, "Y'all get out of here."
Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all move on, man. We used to ride away a little bit, then come back and listen some more, man.
Yeah. When I talked to Gary, I found out a lot because I really didn't know. Other than I told him, I said I always noticed that y'all had your own studio, your own label.
Yeah, yeah.
I said, and I looked at that as that's the way it should go. That being
Oh,
self-contained.
absolutely, man. Absolutely.
And they was doing it. I was
Yeah,
telling them,
nah.
it was
Well,
like,
the funk machine turned into wisdom, and I got in that band. Nikki got me in that band.
okay.
Nikki.
Okay, so I got you.
Yeah,
Wisdom.
so
Not knowing by that name.
wisdom. Right.
Right.
They had
Because the
changed.
drummer was always over at Rich's house. That
Yeah,
drummer
they
was always
were
at Rich's
real
house.
close.
Yeah,
Man. They were
it was
always
real
together.
close.
They were always
Yep.
hanging out with each other. So, and as a matter of fact, when Kurt Kendricks couldn't make the gig, Richie would play with us.
Okay.
And man, oh man, that was just a beautiful time, man. When he
Wisdom,
played, man.
I do remember.
Yeah.
We actually I don't know if it was the last thing, but Mr. Clark had gave a show at August Martin.
Okay.
And we kind of caught the tail end of that era because I don't think he did anything too much after that. But Wisdom was on that, and
I remember that because
Steve Anderson's band.
Steve Anderson
That's
was
a
playing
force.
with you, right?
No. I was playing in the city with Warren McCray then.
Oh,
I
okay.
played in Steve's band, but at that time I had left. So his cousin Tony was playing drums by himself because we used to have it was 2 drummers in that band.
Ah, right.
And
Okay.
and right, so they was on that. I think it was me and my friends with Glenn Gibson and them. They
Okay.
was on that. But yeah, Wisdom was on that, and that was the one time I got to see them perform.
Yeah, man.
Was, was on that.
We were like, yo, man, these bands are playing too loud, man. We got to come out and just play softer, man. And then somebody wrote about the bands and they mentioned that.
Do you remember that? Yo,
I remember that because Vic got mad. Vic was playing with you.
So you remember that? Yes, Vic wrote a retraction. Vic wrote about that because he was like, loud. He said Wisdom was the loudest thing in there.
Nah, we didn't play loud, man. We made sure that the singers could be heard. Well, that was the first time I seen Steve Anderson play, man. I was like, really impressed. And I got to play with him in another group.
Yeah.
So I was around him a lot, man. And I mean, what a player, man. What a monster on that instrument, bro. And I would always tell him, yo, I don't want to solo after that dude. Don't put me after him because he get the crowd going, man.
Yeah, man. Me and Steve, I met him in high school. And
which school was that?
Francis Lewis.
Oh, okay.
Lewis.
All right. Mm-hmm. That's something, man. That's where my son goes now, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I hated that school, but I met good people there.
Yeah. Man, when they had the Jazzmobile starting out, right?
Right.
And Melvin Palmer, he wanted to take me over there. I don't know why, he said, yo, man, come on to the Jazzmobile. So I was like, all right, I'll go over there with you. And it was up in Harlem. And I was like, I was young, so I didn't even tell my mother. I just said I was going to play some music
right.
And because she would have never let me go to Harlem, man. But that was the spot, man. I mean, that's where I really got in touch with like cats that was really serious on their instruments, man.
Right.
Because they had Buster Williams teaching bass, they had Ted Dunbar there teaching guitar. Yeah, It was all these really good cats, man. And I was like, listen, I gotta get there. I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna have to get there, man. And when I got there, man, it was like Ted Dunbar was like God, man, to me. Because he just knew how to play everything on the guitar, man. And whatever he gave you, it was gonna take you a while to get it, man. So you didn't have to come back for a few weeks.
So, tell me about some of the shows y'all did, like Unique Creation. I saw y'all at 72.
Unique Creation,
on a youth night.
Okay.
I think was CBS. I think was on that or something like that. One of them groups out of Hollis was on the show with y'all there.
Oh, New Message, probably New Message, man. They were
New Message.
They was always setting us on fire, man. They would always come out with some shit, man. They were good, man.
Right.
They were good. They always had the music. But they always had like a theatrical component.
Yeah, they did. I remember that guitar player came out with a banana hat, like that big. Yeah, they had the stage presence.
They always had something going on, man. I was always impressed with the guy. And one time I was at Sam Ash, and this dude came up to me and started talking to me, and I was like, he said, "You don't remember me?" I was like, "No, man. Where you from?" And finally he told me I used to play with New Message, man. I was the bass player. I was like, "Oh shoot." But yeah, man, yeah. Needless to say, they were excellent, man.
I'm like, we were kind of the tail end of that. So by the time me, Ronnie, and Vic formed the band, a lot of it was starting to go away.
Yeah, like, okay.
I remember Club Ruby and stuff like that. Places Richard and them was playing was starting to shut down.
Yeah.
So like, I'm the one out of that group, the only one that really stuck with it.
Yo, I hear you. Yeah, right.
So, there was like the track was still around.
Okay.
What's the place that Manhattan Proper?
Yeah. So you were rocking all the clubs.
Yeah, so that's what was like left. But I remember those other clubs like what's that manager, Ray? I think he was managing quite a few bands. That was Rich and the manager. So, I did get to meet all the bands. This guy was doing all the stuff back then. He used to say, "How boot that?" Duke Baldwin.
Oh yeah, Duke Baldwin, sure, man.
Yeah,
that was Club Ruby, wasn't it?
I think so. And that other spot, but so I, me when I kept playing, so that's when Ecstasy, Leviticus, all that, all those clubs was there.
Yeah, yeah.
But
But
it wasn't the same.
Unique Creation, we basically played. We didn't have no regular club.
Okay.
We didn't play in a regular club. We started backing up singers, and we were doing a lot of gigs based on wherever the singers were. That's where we were, because we were playing at a lot of colleges. I remember one time we played in Brooklyn, man, and the thing I remember about the gig was the gig went well, but at the end of the gig, we had no way of getting home, man. Wasn't enough room for us to take the ride. The equipment had to go in the ride, so we had to get on the train, man. And when we walked down, we was walking down Myrtle Avenue, man. Wow. And when we got to Fort Greene Park, man, these dudes was sitting out there, man. Man, what the hell y'all doing over here? They started loud mouthing us, man. And we were like, yo, man, we had to make a beeline to the subway, man, with our axes. Me, Marcus.
Wow.
I don't know if you remember Michael Elmore and Michael Waterman. Those were our horn players.
Michael Waterman was a trumpet player, right?
Trumpet player, yeah. He passed away, man, a couple of years. Yeah, a few years back, man. Yeah.
I last saw him when Marcus was starting his solo stuff. He was at SOBs.
Yeah,
Michael Waterman was there.
He was related to Marcus, so he kind of.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah, he was like a distant cousin, man. But he kept up with Marcus, man. Him and Carl, they have like direct communication with him throughout his career, man.
Okay.
So they were real good, with keeping in contact with him.
Yeah, I remember him. I recognized him as soon as I saw him too. I was like, wow, well, the trumpet player from Unique Creation.
Yeah.
I remember
my boy, man. We used to go to a lot of concerts and stuff together, man.
Mm-hmm.
So we were really kind of close, man. And then he lived over in Brooklyn at a time when I was living over in Brooklyn. So we were like neighbors all of a sudden again, because he lived around the corner from me in Queens, and then we were living in Brooklyn and Clinton Hills, and he lived a couple of blocks from me. We used to ride bikes together. We were good.
Do you keep up with Michael Powell?
I just have a direct line to his text messaging. So but I don't get to speak to him a lot.
Yeah, I know. Chris passed this year, I think, right?
Yeah. In May of this year. Yeah.
And I was talking to I forgot who I was interviewing, and I was talking about him. I said, yeah, he was one of the cats I used to watch. I said, there was so many drummers in the neighborhood.
Yeah. Oh.
And we used to check them out. I can't remember them, cause I remember a lot of bands at that time. We could only see you if you played at a youth night at a school or a block party, because we couldn't go in no clubs and stuff. So
yeah, okay.
I remember y'all playing on 159th, and what was the other band? Michael. It was a keyboard. Michael Bell, was that his name?
Yeah, Bell.
And Roland, the drummer. I think he's the first left-handed drummer I ever seen. that band.
All right.
Didn't Rory play with them? If I remember.
Probably.
He might have played with them at that. I kind of remember him playing there.
But I don't know how long Rory continued, man. I can't remember that, but he might have been playing with them. Yeah, Michael Bell had a brother named Anthony. He used to play drums. I played with him for a while too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Going back on me, man. You going back in my phone.
Right? Yeah, yo, that was such an important time for me.
Sure, man.
And because of the age difference, then a lot of cats was moving into their real life, and I was still in high school.
Yeah. That's what happened, man. And like you said, man, a lot of cats, they drop it after a while, man. It's just, just can't do it no more.
Right.
So it's just a few of us that continue, like just keep at it, keep going, keep learning and stuff, man. Keep playing.
So after that, I know you went on to play with. Did you play with Evelyn Champagne King?
Yeah, I did, man. I did. I met Ron Penn, who was the bass player.
Ron Penn, yeah, I remember him.
Evelyn King, and I met him at like a jam session, man. Because I didn't know him, but I knew he played with her, and I just went up and introduced myself to him, man. And next thing I know, man, I'm on the road with Evelyn, man.
Wow.
He said, I like the way you play, you know, when he heard me. And I was like, oh, okay. So he hooked that up, man, because he what he did was, like, whenever you go on those auditions, you probably notice you got to know somebody, man. You know,
because it's about who you know.
Yeah, it's always like 5 or 6 guitar players, and they all sound good. You know, so it's about who you got in that band, the connection you got, who has pull is going to get you on that gig, and that's what happened with that gig, man. He got me on that gig, man, and that was the first time, man. That was my first tour. You know, I remember.
Do you remember who was playing drums?
Oh, it's this kid out of Baltimore. His name is Nathan, man. Nate. I don't remember his last name, but yeah, we went down to Atlanta. The first tour we took, because my parents, they were so concerned, man. You know, they drove me to the tour bus. And when they saw that tour bus, they were like, go ahead, you go ahead on. Tour bus was fly, man. So yeah, we went to Atlanta, man. It was like, we wasn't really tight yet. And they had a band in there opening up for us, man. And I remember the drummer was Bobby Lovelace. That's the dude from Midnight Star, right?
Oh, okay.
But he was just playing with a regular group. But man, they was putting some fire in our ass, man. They come up there and they start playing like, oh, because that was their club. They was like, they was always there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, the crowd knew them.
Yeah. So
what was some other good shows y'all did with her? Like some other people. She was hot. Well,
yeah, no, we did one with Teddy Pendergrass one time, man.
Oh man, that must be great.
It was at the wherever the 76ers played, the Spectrum.
Right back then, yeah, Spectrum.
There,
yep. Wow.
Yeah, Teddy was something else too, man. He was something else, bro. He was something to see. And that band, what was that?
And that was his home. I was in his town too, so I know that was
house,
crazy.
Right? We was in his house, man. Nothing you could do with that, man.
Right.
They was tight. MFSB.
Right. Yeah.
I guess that was the band that backed them. But they was
that's the one who did all the records.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And one time we played in DC too, man. I always remember the times we got ran out of the town, man. Because DC, man, if you wasn't playing that go-go,
go-go,
and that's still was popular back then, man.
And it's still like that's their music.
It's still like that. Yeah, it's still like that. And
like nobody else can claim that by them. That's just them, and they kept it alive because it's not a nationwide music.
No, it's not. It's not. But it's funky, man. And that was my first time hearing it. And when we went on, man, it was like one of the go-go group came off, and it was like packed in there. It was hot. Everybody was dancing. I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun. When we came on, man, people started clearing out, man. It was like, yo, what's going on?
Yep.
Like, they didn't want to hear that music, man. They just want to hear go-go, man. So yeah, that was another big show down there. We played with McFadden and Whitehead.
More Philly cats. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ain't no stopping us. And I remember that. We was always we played with GQ. One time, I got to meet them guys. Them guys were good too, man. They were
yeah. He's still doing his thing. I played with him. Back in the '90s.
Okay. Yeah. They had some.
But actually, with him and Force MDs, I did double duty on that one.
I played on a show with them. I was with Vicky Love.
Okay.
Did you know Vicky Love?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. She had some stuff out, man. And that's when I played with Rich. Richie was in that group.
Okay. The tune she had out that Ronnie Miller wrote, Nancy wrote that.
Who?
Take a Chance. Nancy
who?
Beyonce. So Nancy, at that time, she
that was the song. That was a song we was
Take a Chance,
on,
right? Yeah, exactly.
It was that.
She wrote the lyrics to that. Mm-hmm. Ron Miller wrote the music, and then she wrote
man. All right, man. Proud of you, bro. You do the right thing.
So, but that's what she does. You know, she's got stuff out that I did on her.
Oh,
and
cool,
I gotta send you a link to some of my stuff, man. People don't know.
Is that intro music written by you?
Yep.
That's funky, man.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Funky, bro.
But I do a thing called Kevin Harrington Experiment. So.
Okay.
And
I gotta hear that, man.
Yeah, I'll send you the links, man, after this to the stuff that I have out.
Beautiful.
And we talk later, cause I usually have another artist do the melodies, playing
Okay,
wise.
I
So I just
got you.
had John. This last one John did on guitar,
Guitar.
and I have
Oh
a
yeah, I
sax
know
player that I
John
use.
Willis.
Yep.
Oh
Willis is,
yeah, man. Yeah. I know him. Yeah,
Yeah.
we did like a tribute to Steve, and he played with us, man.
Okay, you was on that? Yeah, I was on
Yeah,
the road when that happened. He was
you was
telling
on the
me
road.
about that.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
It was nice, man. I had put the band together, and
Oh, nice.
it was at the scene. It was we
Right.
had fun, man. I had Big Daddy singing. Um, who else did I have in that band? It was damn, the bass player that just passed away, man. His name
Oh,
is
which
slipping me.
one? Yeah, because Camille's husband,
Dave
Dave.
Jones. He
Okay,
was
yep.
playing. He was playing with us on that. It was a put together. I think Lonnie was playing with us though. I don't know if you know Lonnie Bannister.
I know his name. That because
Yeah,
it's him and there's a Lonnie Christian.
yeah. I play with both of
Yeah.
them guys. Yeah, I
Hmm.
kind of know them.
Right.
But Bannister played that gig. But yeah, it was a
Okay.
nice tribute to him, and we pretty much I donated all the money that we made from that gig to his
Right.
cause, to him. Because it's such a sad thing, man, that happened to him, man. I keep in touch with Tony, his cousin, man. He always lets me know what's going on with Steve.
Yeah. I keep in touch with Steve. We text each other every now and then,
Okay.
just
That's cool.
just to see what's happening.
Got you,
And
man. Yeah.
his son hits me up because his son's playing drums.
Oh, man, you know that, man.
So every now and then, but all of that was like just pre-COVID nonsense. So
Yeah.
I probably spoke to him once. We checked on each other since this has been going
Yeah.
on.
COVID shut down the music scene, man. That's for sure.
Woo,
Shut us down, man.
did it.
Phew.
But yeah. So okay. So now you never stopped playing even when you went into like the whole what you doing, parole,
Yeah. Probation.
because around that time we was playing with Norman Jean and Doug, right? You was doing parole in.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. Because I invited some people from the job to come to play that.
Right.
I forgot about that gig.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was a
Yep.
good gig, man. That was a good gig.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Doug just moved back to was it early? Yeah, early this year he just moved back to Texas.
Oh, he must have retired then.
Yeah, he retired. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
He
No,
retired.
I used to speak to him every so often. Somebody I know knows him, man. But yeah, I also played with Wilson Pickett, man, when before he passed, man. I was on the road with
But
him, man.
so you played with Crusher.
Yeah, no,
Crusher Green.
Crusher had
He
passed
wasn't
away.
playing?
So
Oh, he was already
Wally
gone.
Gator took
Oh,
the
Wally
gig.
Gator. Yeah, he's gone now too, man.
Now
Damn.
he going, yeah.
Yeah, I was at his service in Brooklyn.
Oh man, yeah, I kind of missed that one, man. I don't know if I was busy or something happened, man. Because I used to go
Yeah.
because the bass player had died too, man. Z
Oh,
Bass.
man.
I don't know if you know him, but he was the bass player with Wilson.
Cause I know, me and cause I know Paul would play with Crusher, would call him to do
Okay.
stuff cause we was doing oh God, what's the Frankie Parish.
Okay.
And Crusher would come check us out sometimes. And
Yeah,
some of
he
the
was a
Holmes
character,
brothers.
man. He was a character.
Yeah.
I only played with him one time, man. As a matter of fact, he found out that I was a parole officer at the time. And he was like, "Oh, are you a parole officer?" I was like, "Yeah." He said, "I'm on parole."
Was Wayne Cobb him there then?
Yeah, that's my man. Yo,
okay.
Yeah. He got me on the gig too, man. That's the
okay.
one. He was the musical director at the time.
Man. Right. I saw him on Unsung talking about that. I didn't know that he did that. Again, Wayne's another one I got to get because.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Yo, listen, that dude, man, he hooked me up with. Matter of fact, I got to play with Billy Cobham as a result of him. So
Really?
I love him for that.
Oh man, what did you play with Billy at?
Well, what happened was Wayne was recording his own trumpet solo album.
Okay.
On CD, and Billy was on that tune. He was on.
Okay, on that particular key. Oh
yeah,
man.
and I was on that. I was on those two songs too. So yeah.
Wow, nice.
That was something for me, man. Just to meet him. I was telling him, man, yo, the first concert I went to was you.
Wow.
Yeah, it was at the Bottom Line, man. Me and Kevin went to see him. And,
wow,
and what got me was he liked me. he took my number. I was like,
Wow.
oh, but he's retired now, man.
Yeah,
He's a
he's a
bad,
killing dude, man.
huh?
I said, you was a killing dude. Kidding me? I always enjoyed your playing, man.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I thought when we played for Doug, man, I really enjoyed that unit.
Yeah, man. That was a good unit. That was a
That
good
was a
unit.
good unit.
And I played with Alva again, man. He didn't remember me.
Okay. Really?
He was like, what's your name? I told him, I was like, yo, man, I played with you before, man. You just don't remember, man.
Cause Billy Cobham again, when I was talking to Charles, Billy played with them playing vibes with Bartlett's Contemporary.
Yeah, that's going back, man. That's going way back.
And I saw Billy at one of his clinics, and I brought that up.
Oh,
his face was like, "Oh man, you just took me way back."
Yes,
and he started asking me about all of these guys. I was like, "Whoa."
We know him.
I was like, whoa, I don't know all those guys. He started talking, asking me about all of these dudes. I'm like, I was like, nah. He said, how they doing? I said, oh, they great. Charles told me later on he did see him.
All right.
They was talking, man. Such a nice guy.
Yeah, he was. He was such a nice guy.
His face lit up.
I'm just so glad that I met Wayne, because he was able. Matter of fact, the gig that I do now, man, it's a Motown review band. He's the musical director of that. So I see him all the time, because we play pretty often, but he just moved to California.
Yeah, I saw that. That's good. My thing, I look at like how you never stopped, even though you was doing that. Went on to what, FBI, right?
Nah, I went from state parole to federal probation and parole.
Federal, okay.
Yeah, so I was a federal officer, but yeah, I'm retired from that now, though. Man. I haven't done it in a while.
But I'm saying, but you kept like that going. Like you said, a lot of cats stopped. Like, I know when my kids was young, I was still doing both. And, my daughter tells me now that you inspired me, because I would take them with me to rehearsals and stuff like that.
Yeah. Once it's in your blood, man. I just love learning more about the guitar, man. I'm still like that today, man. And with the internet now, man, it's like, wow, man. I go crazy with this shit now.
Yeah, because now we get to see the whole world.
Yeah, you can see everything, man. And listen, man. I tell these kids, man, you got the internet. You got a way of slowing this stuff down. It's easier. We had to put on records and albums and put it down to 16 to try to steal these licks, man. You got a looper that can do that stuff,
The technology is crazy, and
it's crazy.
Everybody can see what everybody's doing. It's like, we went basically like who was around our way and who was touring, and they would meet people and you get to go see people.
Yeah.
I said, but now you can watch drummers from Africa.
Yeah.
Just clicking and playing like that. Because
the way those South African drummers play, man, they're so rhythmic, man. They just have another way. I played with a guy from South Africa, man, a drummer, and it was just a different vibe.
It's a different. They have a different feel.
Yeah, different feel, man. Because I was listening to this cat, I was studying with this cat named Peter Farrell. He's a guitarist, man. He studied Benson, and he became Benson's friend and all of this stuff. But he was talking about how important like learning different beats are and being able to sing them, man. Like that's what George is hearing when he's playing. And you can hear it in his licks, man. It's like all this percussive kind of stuff is coming through, man. So that was another area, man, just to brush up on.
Yeah, and like they said, you could always learn something else. There's always something new to learn.
Yeah, it's always it keeps going, man. That's the thing about music. You never completely master music. You gotta just keep learning. That's all.
Like people used to ask me like Rich was always my biggest influence.
Okay.
Because one of the main things he taught me was how to listen. Because Rich wasn't a hands-on teacher. You know what I'm saying? Again, he was learning. Richard Currents and them, like they didn't have time, like if you went to a drum teacher, and he's gonna sit down with you and go, okay, here we're gonna go left, right. They were like, you get to sit here and watch.
No, that's a part of it.
And that's basically how I learned. I watched and listened.
Okay.
So when people say who you learn from, I said I can learn from anybody who's playing.
See,
Because
that's important, man.
yeah, I said because
that's a good part of it, man.
Even if like people, even if they ain't got no crazy chops, I said, but see, that's the problem. Everybody looks for that. I said, if I hear dude plays a nice groove and it's something that he does I thought was slick, I'm learning that from him.
Right.
He ain't, you know what I'm saying? He ain't got to have the Lenny White and all of them chops.
Right.
I say, I said, listen to some of the slick stuff that he does. My cousin's son, there's like a groove they play a lot in church, and he was playing, and I was listening. I was like, huh. I said, that's slick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was like, what? You learned something from me? I said, man, you should always be open to learn from wherever you hear something you like.
Come on, man. You learn from all. I learned from a new kid playing, man. It's just that it's just music is like that. You know, you always learn it.
So have you done your own project at all?
Of course, man. Of course, you gotta do that, man. You gotta do that. So it's become like I love these phones because I put my ideas right on the phone when I have them. I always have a guitar near me. So I've been writing a lot of songs, you know. I'm gonna play the jazz thing, man. It's gonna be like the commercial jazz project.
Yeah.
And it's coming along, man. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get to it.
I mean, man, you got to, man. I tell anybody, I said, if you still playing, then you know, if you got something to say, it should be out. I said, because technology, again, we could always say if we had that when we was younger, it'd be a different story. I said, right. I said, because it was $200 just to buy the tape to go to the studio. That was even talking about.
Right.
So I said, now, you know, you got Pro Tools in your house the same as they got everywhere. So
sure.
You know, there's no reason not to do it.
Right. It's completely changed now.
Yeah. You know, now the press of a button, you can send it around the world. So
that's right.
You know, I always encourage everybody. I said, hey, man, always do your own project, man. You got something to say, then then put it out.
That's the route to go, man. And I've recorded on so many people's, you know, demos and stuff like that.
Right.
I got to do my own, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, listen, it's not easy, but you know, if you love it, it's just who I am, man. This is who I am, man. I mean, listen. I mean, I taught in this school for 15 years, man. You know, I was just doing it on Saturday at one point. And I saw those kids so hungry, like how we were when
right.
I gotta do this, man. I just gotta do this every week.
Right.
So, you know, I used to go there every week, man.
Where was you teaching at? What school was it?
It's called the Renaissance Youth Center, man. And what happened was there was a bass player that I played in. Like, well, I used to play in Wayne Holmes's band. He used to work for Stephen Scott.
Yeah, Wayne Holmes. Okay, I know you're talking about.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So his brother-in-law, one of his relatives played the bass. His name was Q. Darren. Darren. We called him Q. And he heard me. He met me and he said, "Yo, man, listen, you got the personality. You could teach in my school." So I was like, all right. I thought he was bullshit, you know.
Right.
And be that as it may, he just kept pursuing me, and I finally went, man. I loved it, man, and I stayed there for 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's interesting because, you know, a lot of the Queens cats end up working at the boys club, I think, in Harlem.
Yeah, a lot too. Yeah, you're right, man.
Yeah, I don't know if Bill White.
Bill White. Well, Bill White now teaches at the Renaissance where I
okay.
Yeah,
I know he was up there.
He switched
Gene
over.
Williams. Gene Williams was there, but he's been living in China for the last 2 years.
Oh, okay. Well, Roger Byam, I think he teaches up there.
Okay, right. Ronald, I think Richie Harrison was teaching, drummer.
I don't know Richie personally, but I'm on Facebook.
Yeah,
I know he used to play with Jack Sass.
Right. I don't know if Leslie Ming was teaching there. I'm not sure of.
Okay.
But hey, man, I'm looking forward to you when you get your stuff done. Like I said, I'm gonna send you a link to my stuff. But all right, Wayne, man, it was a pleasure to talk to you.
All right, man.
We're gonna wrap up this episode of Musician Rewind.
All right.
That's it. So everybody, check this out and look out for the next one. And everybody be safe until we talk again. All right, now.
All right, brother. Take care.
out.
All right.